Hello and welcome to News Central Now. I am Adebola Adedugba. The top stories at this hour. Barely 24 hours after the conclusion of Rivers State Local Council election, Governor Fubara swears in newly elected chairman. Algerian President Abdelmajid Tebboune rules out visits to France in renewed tension. Rwanda to begin vaccinations against deadly Ebola-like Marburg virus. And details shortly. Let's begin with updates from the local government polls in Rivers State, where the governor, Siminalayi Fubara, has commenced the swearing-in of the newly elected chairman of the 23 local government councils in the state. The swearing-in started at 4:20 p.m. on Sunday. Now, this followed the successful presentation of certificates of return to democratically elected chairmen in the local government elections held across the state on Saturday, October 5, 2024. The swearing-in was witnessed by the governor of Bauchi State and chairman, People's Democratic Party's Governors Forum, Senator Bala Mohammed, and distinguished stakeholders and political leaders of the state.
Civil Service Commission.
I, Honorable Justice Adolphus Enably retired, in my capacity as the Chairman, Chief Electoral Commissioner of the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, and pursuant to the extant provisions of the Rivers State Independent Electoral Law Number 2 of 2018 and all other laws enabling me in that behalf, do hereby make declaration of results for the chairmanship elections into the 23 local government councils of Rivers State. After painstaking collation of results at the close of poll by our team of officials regarding the local government council elections conducted this day, the 5th.
In the meantime, the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission has issued certificates of return to newly elected local government chairmen. After an exercise held amid heightened tension on Saturday, the Action People's Party won 22 out of 23 chairmanship positions, while the Action Alliance candidates won 1 seat. The chairman of the commission, Adolphus Enabeli, issued the certificates to the chairman at the RISIEC headquarters in Port Harcourt, the state capital. Meanwhile, former President Goodluck Jonathan has issued a cautionary call to political actors, security agencies, and the judiciary, urging them to avoid actions that could worsen the political tension currently brewing in Rivers State. The tension stems from the local government elections recently held in the state, which has sparked a political crisis. In a statement posted on his Twitter account on Saturday, Jonathan voiced deep concerns over the unfolding situation, stressing the importance of peace and stability of Nigeria's democracy. The former president appealed to all stakeholders, especially state institutions, to ensure democratic principles are upheld by conducting peaceful and credible elections. He also advised political players to exercise caution and patriotism in the quest for power, noting that the crisis in Rivers State bears a striking resemblance to the political unrest that shook Nigeria's old western region in the past. And to talk about these Rivers elections, local government elections, we're joined by our guest, Godswill Jumbo, who is a political analyst. Good evening. Glad to have you join me on the news. Okay, we'll try to connect with the guest in the course of the news. And still on election matters, the chairman of the Benue State Independent Electoral Commission, BCEC, Telomon Tombowa, has announced the All Progressives Congress APC candidates as the winners of the local government elections held in Benue State. The election took place across the 23 local government areas of the state on Saturday. Tombowa also confirmed that the APC secured victory in all 276 wards in the state. And while declaring the results at the BCEC office in Makurdi on Sunday morning, Tombowa described the election as free, fair and credible, noting that there were no incidents of violence or ballot box snatching. The Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SEREP, has asked President Bola Tinubu to withhold allocations to states that have failed to conduct credible local government elections. Local elections took place on October 5 in a number of states, including Jigawa, Benue, Rivers, and Akwa Ibom. Most states, however, are yet to perform local government polls and still get money from the federal allotments for their respective local council. In a statement on Sunday, SERAP Deputy Director Kola Wole Oluwadare specifically wants Tinubu to direct Oluwale Edun, Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, to immediately withhold federal allocations to states that have failed and refused to conduct credible local government elections. And back to the local government elections that was held in Rivers State. We now have our guest joining us, a political analyst, Godswill Jumbo. Good afternoon. Glad to have you join me on the news.
Pleasure being with you again.
All right, let me start by asking, what are your thoughts regarding the intrigue surrounding this election, of course, Rivers State local council elections?
For me, I hardly see any intrigue. I just see a state chief executive in Nigeria who is committed, who is passionate, who is determined, who is positively disposed to complying with extant regulations. You know, the apex court in the land has obliged the federal government by, passing a judgment that all revenue accruing to the people of Nigeria through their various local governments should now be, warehoused, directly to them. But that should be within the context of legality and within the context of common sense and probity and accountability and all of that. And for that to happen, there has to be elected governments at the grassroots. No more caretaker, no more interim, no more whatever. Avenues through which some state chief executives have used to siphon, public funds. So now they've been mandated that within 3 months of that judgment, all states that do not have elected, governments at the local level should immediately conduct elections within 3 months. And we have seen the Rivers State Governor, Siminala Ifubara, who is a title citizen of my community, the Bani people of Rivers State, that is Boni and Opopo. We've seen that very serious commitment on his part to beat all kinds of obstacles, scale all kinds of hurdles, as they say, cross 7 rivers and climb 7 mountains to make sure that this happens. And this has happened yesterday.
Mr. Jumbo,
the people of Rivers State.
Yes, if I may, Mr. Jumbo, yes, indeed, election, local council election has come and gone, but then the APP sweeping 22 out of 23 seats. I mean, were you surprised the other parties had nothing, to take home? Did this come to you as a surprise, or you were expecting this?
No, I'm not surprised. You know why I'm not surprised? Because politics in Rivers State is people-driven. Forget the manipulation, forget the bribery, forget the funny things that government officials do with staff of electoral bodies in Rivers State. Politics in Rivers State is grassroots driven, people driven. The people, when they decide that this is where they want to go, they just go. In 1993, what was the party? Ada George won. It was not PDP, it was, I think, SDP, Social Democratic Party. And Ada George won. You come to 1999, PDP, the people voted en masse for Odili. You get? It came to even 2015, the people voted APC, and then all kind of manipulations. Even last year's election, forget all the funny things. We are journalists. We are on the streets. We are on the streets with the people. Even the then governor had to go meet the Igbo community at Ikoku, and he said it on record that Obi won the election in Rivers State.
Okay, talking about
politics in Rivers State is
won.
people driven. So the people saw the candidates of the APC and they felt these are the right candidates within their context. That has nothing to do with the governor. It was at the local level. Now, so it's like, the right person, his family, everything about him, and you think this is the best person. Like in Bonny, the woman who contested, Anengi Claude Wilcox, she overran every polling unit. She won one by one, every polling unit, and it's a landslide. So that's what we're taking. We're saying, keep all the police, keep all the manipulation aside, give the people the opportunity, they will speak with their votes.
Mr. Jumbo, now, looking at this election now, what do you think this will signify for the power play or setup in Rivers State going forward?
Well, the dynamics have changed. Quickly, the dynamics have changed. Everybody has been put on alert now that if you keep the manipulation aside, we are on the streets. In fact, for Bonny, where I was yesterday, it was raining and people came out under the rain to get their materials to line up to vote under the rain. They didn't bother. Nobody gave them money. I mean, by the way, will somebody give you money to go and stand under the rain? Think about it. People travel to the hinterland, the various villages and communities to go and vote. So the dynamics have changed. The people have spoken. Now that give us the opportunity, we will speak our mind. That is what has happened. Now, for the political leaders, what does that say for them? What is the connotation there? It is that you have to reinvent yourself. You have to re-strategize. How do you convince the people to vote for you to make this? What if on the next general election, the rain falls like it fell in Rivers State yesterday? Will people come out to vote for you? Yesterday, the people voted under the rain. You understand? So now the leaders have to ask themselves, if I want to contest, how good will I be that people can actually come out and express themselves? Mind you, there was no ballot snatching anywhere, no intimidation, no violence in any of the 23 LGS in Rivers State. The election went on peacefully. People were patient. In some places, voting materials, because of the rain and the terrain, of getting the materials to the polling unit, it got there about 12:01. People were patiently waiting from as early as 7 a.m. So the dynamics have changed. That is one. Two, it's the people of Rivers State have also told clearly the rest of Nigeria that we actually do not need security personnel around voting environments. They conducted themselves peacefully. They were told to queue up. They queued up, and then they voted. You understand? So the dynamics have changed. Imagine that a whole Nigeria police force was nowhere around any of the polling 3,686 polling units in Rivers State, and there was no policeman anywhere. And the people voted. People voted. You can see under the rain they were dancing, and from there they marched to their polling units and they voted. So the dynamics have changed. The people have spoken. And thirdly, before I round up on that one, it is to tell you how much yearning, how much desire, how much passion the people have for good governance to be entrenched in the grassroots. People want this to happen. They want elected governments that they can hold accountable. They want the funds coming to their local governments to come in such a way that
Mr.
they
Jumbo,
can decide
just
what happens with it.
Yes,
that is what has happened now.
There, Mr.
Very clearly.
Just very quickly, try to answer as brief as possible. We understand the governor, Siminalayi Fubara, has today sworn in the council chairman. What do you foresee, going forward? Do you foresee post-election litigation or not?
I would be surprised if there are post-election litigations. What would be the rest? What would be the subject matter of the litigations? The people that were voted, people know them. For instance, my own ward, our family, our kindred, they know who they were voting. The same thing in all the local governments. So the person that will be going to court, what would the person be challenging? Will the person say the election was rigged? Because everybody was there. The polling units are in front of family houses, community centers. Everybody knew who was contesting for what. The councillors, the local government chairman, candidates, and all of that. So what will be contested? Will you say ballot boxes were snatched? Will you say the ballot papers were not complete? Will you say the result you had was different from what was announced in your polling units? What would you say? You understand? The election officials were drawn from the communities. Like everybody knew everybody. You could see your cousin there. You could see your uncle. You could see an aunt. You can see a nephew like that. So what would anybody go to court to go and challenge? Will they say the governor did the wrong thing to contest the election? Well, we do not also rule out the mischief, the irrelevant mischief. We don't rule that out. So we will expect that maybe from Monday, some mischief makers, some enemies of the state, some people who are not patriotic, it's not there in their nature, it's not there in their sensibilities. They may still go to court. By the way,
Mr. Jumbo,
the judiciary made itself
regarding any post-election litigations or not following the local government elections in Rivers State. Well, thank you so much for your insight on the news. Godswill Jumbo, political analyst. Many thanks indeed.
My pleasure. Always.
After the break, the federal government gives exotic cars to outstanding teachers. Join us again. Thank you for staying with us. Several outstanding teachers in Nigeria, including governors who have contributed immensely to the growth of education in their state, have received awards for their efforts and excellent performance. And this was as the federal government marked the 2024 World Teachers' Day celebration in Abuja. The head of service of the Federation says the gesture is a reward for hard work and aimed at encouraging more commitment to the teaching profession. Our correspondent, Emmanuel Bogudo, tells us more.
From cultural displays to march past, Nigerian teachers nationwide reunite to mark the 2024 World Teachers' Day. Themed, valuing teacher voices towards a new social contract for education. This year's celebration, put together by the Nigerian Union of Teachers, honored distinguished teachers and governors who contributed immensely to the welfare of teachers and the growth of education in their states.
Initiatives such as consumer credit card and mortgage reforms that shall provide Nigerians, including teachers, be able to own houses and afford items that shall contribute to prosperity, which they were not otherwise able to purchase.
I am particularly pleased with the integration of the President's Teachers and Schools Excellence Award into this event, which has now become an annual tradition. The awards are a fitting recognition of the exceptional efforts of teachers, administrators, and schools nationwide, who have dedicated themselves to providing quality education to our children. Rewarding excellence in teaching is crucial because it inspires educators to go beyond the ordinary, sets benchmarks of success, and showcases the immense value we place on education.
Teachers are not only the custodian of knowledge, they are the builders of our future. To our esteemed teachers across Nigeria, today is a celebration of your tireless dedication an immense contribution. Your work transcends the classroom. It shaped the hearts and minds of our future leaders, innovators, and change makers.
The governors and the teachers received various meritorious awards with gratitude, promising to do more for the nation's teachers.
We must thank God the measures that have been taken in Nigeria had begun to pay off. We are seeing lower prices. The CNG program is intended to deliver lower energy cost. So Mr. President is tackling the cost of living crisis that the world is witnessing head on in Nigeria. And this will benefit teachers. This will benefit all Nigerians. Equally today, a number of governors who have shown commitment to education were honored. 6 of them, congratulations, including our governor, the governor of Kebbi State, Dr. Nasiru Idris Orangwandu. In fact, in Kebbi State, if you ask a child, he will tell you Nasiru NUT. So in our state, NUT is even synonymous with our governor, which shows his long life devotion to the teaching profession and teachers. And not surprisingly, he was honored today.
I am here with the first runner-up, Dr. Peace from Akoka Junior High School in Lagos. She's going to tell us how she feels winning the Presidential Teachers Award, this beautiful car. Hello, madam.
Good afternoon, sir.
So tell us, how do you feel?
I'm so excited. I'm happy. It's just like a dream come true, and it's a way of honoring all the hard work, all the struggling, all the crying, all the work. Everything is a way of, I don't know, I'm so excited, let me be honest with you.
What does this mean to you?
Yeah, it's like, to me, it means that hard work pays. No matter what, hard work pays. Selflessness, compassion, love, care, empathy with your students pays a lot.
Thank you very much. Indeed, hard work pays. It is anticipated that these rewards given to teachers will continue to encourage teachers to do more and make our children more learned and more better and more educated in the society. In Abuja, for News Central, I am Emmanuel Bagudu.
In the meantime, the Nigeria Union of Teachers, NUT, has announced that 23 states across the country, along with the Federal Capital Territory, have implemented the new 65-year retirement age for teachers. Speaking on Saturday, the NUT National President, Titus Amba, urged the remaining states to expedite the implementation of the harmonized retirement age for teachers without further delay. The union expressed concern over the lack of declared vacancies, which has led to the stagnation of teachers at directorate level, particularly in the nation's Unity schools. It will be recalled that in 2020, former President Muhammadu Buhari approved an increase in retirement age for teachers, raising it from 60 to 65 years. The Borno State government has launched the third phase of its teachers' upgrade training program, targeting 1,230 teachers from 5 local government education authorities. Now, this initiative, according to the government, aims to enhance the quality of education in the state as part of recovery efforts from insurgency. Our correspondent, Umaru Kirawa, tells us more.
Of Education Bosu.
A check presentation by the state government signals the commencement of the third phase of the teacher training program. 10 days have been set aside for the upgrade training of over 1,000 teachers from the 5 local education authorities of Damboa, Jeri, Kaga, Mafa and MMC, with the goal of revitalizing the education sector.
The indiscriminate replacement has made all of you to be on irregular salary grade levels. Most of you seated here with your degrees are on grade level 2 or 3. Some are on 4. Why? Because when one qualified teacher retired, 7, 8 of you were brought and the salary was divided. We all know the truth. So at the end of this training, you will be placed at your appropriate salary grade level.
One major issue raised is the persistent absenteeism of teachers, which the government has promised to address with decisive action.
As it is now, there has been a change, and I want to assure the government that in no distant time they are going to see changes. This abandonment will not be there.
As far as labor is concerned, we have confidence in this government, and we have in particular His Excellency, which we believe he will not dismiss anybody.
A representative of Governor Babagana Zulum commended the leadership of the education sector for upholding government policies and emphasized the importance of teachers' dedication in complementing this significant investment.
We have 1,566 trained teachers that we are going to place them on 30,000 naira minimum wage with effect from 1st October 2024.
Each of the 1,230 participants is said to receive 50,000 naira as a one-time payment, along with a 30,000 naira monthly stipend from October to December.
We are going to have phase 4 and 5 of the training so that all our trainable teachers will be trained, placed at proper salary grade level and paid accordingly.
The government also made it clear that teachers who fail the refresher examination will be reassigned to local government council administration in their respective localities. In Maiduguri for News Central, Umuri Kirawa.
Nigeria's federal government says it has signed a memorandum of understanding with the National Insurance Commission in conjunction with the Chartered Insurance Institute of Nigeria to train and equip 1 million youths with skills in the insurance subsector. The Minister of State for Youth Development, who made this known in Abuja, says that the program is aimed at building the capacity of youth with adequate knowledge and create jobs across 774 local government areas of the country.
We are determined to work with every stakeholders to achieve this result, neither in data management, nor in digital literacy, creative sector, or entertainment. We will continue to look for opportunities in all sectors in order to promote engagement of the young people. With this team, 1 million youth in insurance, the MOU we are about to sign will guide our effort within the 1 year to bring 1 million Nigerian youth into the insurance sector, trained, well-trained, and very well-trained.
The Lagos state government has intensified its crackdown on illegal parking as part of ongoing efforts to reduce traffic congestion and improve the flow of vehicles on the city's roads. Earlier this year, the Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu approved the introduction of regulated on-street parking, which was announced during a stakeholders forum held on February 14, 2024. News Center's correspondent Bettina Nweli throws more light.
The streets of Lagos are notorious for heavy traffic, and much of the congestion is caused by illegally parked vehicles clogging major roads. In response, the Lagos state government, working with relevant authorities, has increased enforcement actions across the city, towing vehicles and issuing fines to offenders.
LASPA was created to find lasting solutions to the issues of indiscriminate and illegal parking across the state. This will aid prompt reduction of traffic breakdown experienced by everyone.
Like many other major cities worldwide facing similar challenges, Lagos is experiencing a high demand for parking spaces that exceeds the available supply. This therefore emphasizes the need to adopt a regulated on-street parking model to better manage parking resources efficiently.
Government will spend an average of about 200 to almost $1 billion naira fixing some roads. And all from the left to the right, cars are parked there by residents because there's no parking in their compounds. I think that's not just unfair to the government, it's also unfair to the residents of the state, because people are making money at the detriment of the livelihoods of other people. Because if I'm going to go out, then that means I'm stuck in traffic. I have to wait somebody up to get out to move my vehicle. That's the first thing.
Officials say this new wave of enforcement is part of a broader strategy to curb indiscriminate parking, especially in high-traffic areas like Lagos Island, Victoria Island, and Ikeja. Vehicles parked along major roads, blocking entrances and obstructing pedestrians are being targeted in this renewed crackdown, as just recently on Friday, 28 vehicles obstructing the free flow of traffic along GRA Ikeja were confiscated. 28 number plates of vehicles caught violating the Lagos State traffic regulations at the location were all removed, and the owners of the offending vehicles will be charged in court. The Lagos State government says that the crackdown is not just about punishment, but about ensuring that everyone in the city can move freely and safely. All legitimate drivers are urged to make use of designated parking areas and avoid parking on sidewalks or major roads. In Lagos, for News Central, I am Bettina Nwili.
Operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, have arrested a 41-year-old Canadian lady, Andrian Munju, at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Ikeja in Lagos. She was nabbed for importing large consignment of Canadian loud, a strong strain of synthetic cannabis. NDLEA spokesman Femi Babafemi announced the arrest in a statement on Sunday, saying the suspect was apprehended during the inward clearance of passengers on KLM airline flight from Canada at the Terminal 1 of the Lagos airport. According to Babafemi, during a joint examination of her 3 bags, Andrin, who was coming to Nigeria for the first time, was found with 74 parcels of the illicit substance weighing 35.20 kilograms stuffed in 2 of her 3 bags. The federal government has confirmed that no Nigerian lives have been lost in Lebanon despite the escalating conflict between Israel and Hezbollah. As Israeli strikes intensify in Lebanon, the Nigerian government has begun preparations to evacuate citizens from the country. In a statement released on Saturday by Ministry of Foreign Affairs spokesperson Ambassador Eche Abu Obe, assured that the Nigerian embassy in Lebanon is actively working to safeguard the lives and welfare of Nigerians caught in the conflict. The government emphasized its ongoing efforts to monitor the situation closely and ensure the safety of its nationals. While the situation remains tense, the embassy had earlier advised Nigerians as far back as August 2024 to voluntarily evacuate with commercial flights still available. The news continues in North Africa, where Algerian President Abdelmajid Tebboune has ruled out the idea of a visit to France. And during a television interview, he said he considered the idea humiliating in the context of renewed tensions in relations between his country and France. The visit of the Algerian president, which has been constantly postponed since May 2023, was most recently planned between the end of September and the beginning of October 2024. But relations between Algiers and Paris became frosty again after the announcement at the end of July of Paris' support for the Moroccan autonomy plan for the disputed territory of Western Sahara.
Je n'irai pas à Canossa. L'Algérie a été choisie pour le grand remplacement, le vrai grand remplacement. Chasser la population locale pour amener une population européenne. Combattre l'islam pour christianiser l'Algérie et en faire une terre européenne. Avec des massacres, avec une armée de Charles X génocidaire. دخلت الجزائر كنا حوالي 4 ملايين. بعد قرن ونص بالتقريب، قرن و32 سنة خرجت كنا مام با 9 ملايين. هي جينوسيد. وعندك محاضر. احنا وندوموند لا فيريتي هيستوريك. هذا اتفاق 1968 فزاعة. يخوفونا به. اتفاق جاء لتقليص من صلاحيات اتفاقيات إيفيان. اتفاقيات إيفيان كانت تقضي على أساس الجزائريين والفرنسيين يعني une libre circulation. يعني c'est un slogan politique qui est fait pour réunir les extrêmes. C'est l'étendard derrière lequel marche l'armée des extrémistes.
Tunisian presidential candidate Zouhi Maghzaoui has voted in La Massa in the northern suburb of Tunis. The candidate, a former left-wing pan-Arab MP, has a real electoral base but remains associated with the president's 2021 power grab, which he supported. Tunisians voted on Sunday in a presidential election largely expected to see incumbent Kais Saied secure another 5 years in office, while his main critics, including one contender, are behind bars. The EC Electoral Board has said about 9.7 million people were expected to turn out. About 47% of them are aged between 36 and 60 years.
نقول اولا الفرح على شهداء تونس اللي بفضل شهداء تونس احنا اليوم موجودين في صندوق الاقتراع. ثانيا انا نقول للتوانسه اليوم رابحين لانه صارت الانتخابات، والتوانسه باش يكونوا رابحين الستة بتاع العشيه، والتوانسه باش يكونوا رابحين اكثر لو يقبلوا اكثر على صندوق الاقتراع. نحب نحيي ونشكر التوانسه اللي مشاو، ونحب ادعو التونسيين اللي مازالوا ما مشاوش لصندوق الاقتراع.
Thousands of Moroccans took part in a pro-Palestine march in Rabat city center. Now the protesters called for a ceasefire in Gaza on the eve of the first anniversary of the Hamas October 7th attacks on Israel and the ensuing war in Gaza. Sunday's events followed massive rallies that took place on Saturday in several European cities, including London, Berlin, Paris, and Rome. Other events are scheduled through the week, with an expected peak on Monday, the date of the anniversary.
المغاربه اليوم خرجوا نيت يحيوا الذكرى ديال 7 اكتوبر، ولكن هذه الذكرى تتصادف واحد التصعيد في المنطقه اللي ما يمكنش المغاربه ما يكونوش مع الموعد مع هذه اللحظات التاريخيه عبر المسانده ديالهم المطلقه.
اليوم هذه المسيره الوطنيه هي مسيره للتذكير يعني العدوان الاسرائيلي والهمجي يعني الصهيوني على الشعب الفلسطيني واللبناني، وان هذه الحرب يمكن ان تتوسع.
In Southern Africa, Mozambique presidential candidate Osofo Mahmoud from the Renamo party held his final rally ahead of the 9th of October elections in Maputo. Joined by his supporters, Mahmoud was seen dancing with a broom. The ruling party, Frelimo, which has increasingly become marked with growing concerns of authoritarianism and impunity amid the controversy surrounding the 2023 local elections and the 2019 general election, is predicted to win.
Nunca ganhou. Não podemos enganar o mundo. A Frelimo nunca ganhou. Desde 1974 tivemos eleições fraudulentas. E nós, neste momento, queremos deixar um apelo para que possamos ter eleições justas e transparentes. Porque só assim é quando não vamos ter conflitos. E caso vir a acontecer isso, o povo moçambicano, a juventude, vai levantar-se contra este regime. Pode não ser através das armas, mas através de uma manifestação que vai prejudicar o país. Podemos, não é um novo partido, já existe desde 1974. Aliás, foi em que ano que o filho de Samora criou aquele partido? Desde o início nós anunciamos que as vassouras servem para varrer a corrupção, a falta de cadeira nas escolas, a falta de água, a falta de estradas, isto é, as vias de acesso.
Let's also tell you that Mozambique's ruling party, Frelimo, has held its final campaign rally in Machava ahead of general elections on October 9th. Enormous groups of supporters welcomed Daniel Chapo, Frelimo's candidate, to the main platform at the rally. Now, most people anticipate that Chapo will win the presidency. Meanwhile, as Mozambique heads to the polls for its general election on October 9th, voters have voiced concerns over the possibility of a fair and democratic process. Voters expressed fear that the election result may be manipulated, alleging a lack of transparency in past elections. This growing concern casts a shadow over the upcoming vote. Mozambique gained independence in 1975 after a decade-long struggle against Portuguese colonial rule. Despite its rich natural gas deposits, the country remains one of the poorest in the world.
O nosso jovem que estamos a lutar aqui, a família deve perder. Mas em termos de roubo dos votos, pode haver nos prejudicar. Porque dizem que a Frelimo que fez, a Frelimo que faz. Tudo vai fazer a força e ele está a fazer a força.
Bem, o voto sempre contou e vai contar para sempre. Só que acontece, as nossas eleições nunca foram transparentes, né? Sempre há muitas reclamações, a população votam e os resultados mantêm os mesmos. O que quer dizer, há muita burocracia, por exemplo, na parte da CNE ou do STAI, sempre que manipular resultados.
In the world of sport, Noni Madueke's late equalizer earned Chelsea a 1-1 draw against 10-man Nottingham Forest, ending the Blues' 5-match winning streak on Sunday. Now, Chris Wood put Forest ahead early in the second half at Stamford Bridge, but England winger Madueke leveled the score. Despite Forest James Ward-Prowse receiving a red card with 12 minutes remaining, Chelsea couldn't capitalize on the numeric advantage to find a winner. Chelsea had enjoyed a resurgence under coach Enzo Maresca, winning their previous 3 league matches, but this draw was a setback as they head into the international break in 4th place in the Premier League. Maresca emphasized that while Chelsea isn't yet ready to challenge Manchester City and Arsenal for the title, they are contenders for a top 4 finish. Robert Lewandowski's stunning 26 minutes hat-trick propelled Barcelona to a 3-0 victory over Als, putting them 3 points ahead of Real Madrid in La Liga. The Polish striker, now the league's top scorer with 10 goals in 9 matches, opened the scoring with a header from Rafinha's free kick. Rafinha also assisted Lewandowski's second goal before the forward sealed his hat-trick with a clinical finish after a pass from Eric Garcia. Barcelona dominated the match, securing their 8th win in 9 league games under new coach Hansi Flick. Alves had 2 goals disallowed for offside and hit the post, but Barcelona's high defensive line kept them at bay. Germany forward Kai Havertz will miss upcoming Nations League matches against Bosnia and Netherlands due to a knee injury, the national team announced on Sunday. Despite playing the full 90 minutes in Arsenal's 3-1 victory over Southampton on Saturday, Havertz will not join the squad. In his absence, national team coach Julian Nagelsmann has called up Jonathan Bakotz as a replacement. Germany is set to face Bosnia on Friday before hosting the Netherlands on October 14. The team expressed their support for Havertz, wishing him a speedy recovery. And that's all on the news. Let's take a look again at some of the major stories. Barely 24 hours after the conclusion of Rivers State Local Council election, Governor Fubara has sworn in newly elected chairman. Algerian President Abdelmajid Tebboune has ruled out visits to France in renewed tension. We also told you that Rwanda is set to begin vaccinations against the deadly Ebola-like Marburg virus. You can watch News Central live on DSTV, channel 422, Star Times, channel 274, Abo TV, and YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I am Adebola Adedugba.